I think Zach Johnson's been there too for 2 years.
Good. It's not just her.
He always asks me about
basketball court in your house. Why are you here?
Right.
Legion of loyal listeners and Wildcat fans, it's the Mike and Rob Season 7. Welcome to the 2022 Fall Preview Show for the high school volleyball team. All right, we got Coach Sarah Cayley. Do you want to introduce your panel in your 13th season as the head coach at River Falls?
I would love to. Sitting right here to my left these are all seniors. So this is number 3, Brianna Brathel. She's an outside hitter. I've got number 5, Miss Morgan Cayley. She is a setter. I've got number 2, Abby Bannett. She's a libero and a pretty darn good outside hitter too, off the record. I've got number 14, Taylor Peterson. She's a middle blocker. And then number 11, Becca Randleman. She is also a middle blocker.
Outstanding. Coach, why don't you get us started with a little background, a little bit about your resume, where you came from, how you ended up here, and then girls, we'll go right down the line with each one of you.
All right. Well, like you said, this is my 13th season here. I kind of bounced around different states with job opportunities and landed here. I'm a teacher in Woodbury, and I've been coaching the program here, and it's just been really fortunate to have a lot of really good athletes come through and kids that are committed to growing the sport. And I've had a chance to see it develop from a program that struggled when we first started to the success we've had the last couple years. And more importantly, just see the girls develop as people and go on to be successful outside of volleyball. So that's my story. I've got 2 little ones, Parker, who's 9, and Ryan, who's down in the gym working on her serve, who's 11, and Morgan, and then 2 in college with Michael and Maddie, who were juniors at Duluth.
Brianna.
My name's Brianna. I've been playing volleyball for 8 years. I started on my mom's team, and that was so fun. And then
For both of you.
for both of us. This is my 4th year on varsity. I've been an outside for the majority of my career, but I was a libero. I did set a little bit. Yeah.
I am Morgan Cayley. I have been playing volleyball since I was 3 years old. I've been on varsity. This is my 4th year on varsity. I've been a setter my whole life because my older sister was a setter, so that was my decision. Yeah.
My name is Abby Bannett. I've been playing volleyball since
Forever.
7 years old. My mom was coaching me in Prescott. Then we got to Rage. Then we got to Gakoro, so we stepped it up. We kept going. And this is my 3rd year on varsity.
My name's Taylor Peterson. I started volleyball when I was in 7th grade, and I've always been a middle. This is my 4th year on varsity, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I play for Kokoro in the off season. I've been playing there since I was 13 also. So yeah.
My name's Becca. I started playing volleyball probably in middle school, and I feel like over time I just took it more seriously because last season I played Kokoro, which was nice and kind of grew me a lot as a player. And yeah, I've been on varsity for 2 years now.
All right, Coach, why don't you talk about this year's program? How many total number of players do you have, number of teams in the program at the high school level?
We've got 4 teams here at the high school and about 45 athletes in total. When you had discussed it with me earlier, I had to stop and think because today I met an exchange student that's coming in from Germany that's going to play volleyball here. We typically have an exchange student every season. We have about 10 to 12 athletes on each team. I'm coaching the varsity this season with Allie Igo, who's been in the program all the years I've been here, but this year we're strictly doing varsity together. And then Angie Peterson is doing the JV team again this season. She was a new addition to the staff last year, and she actually has a volunteer coach this year. Her mom, Karen, is helping her out. So that's kind of nice. She's got some assistants there. And then Melissa Berner is back again. She's the one coach on the staff that's been here longer than I have. She was here before I came in. She's coaching the blue team, and then Chelsea is coaching our gold team. She was a volunteer assistant last year. And then I have a former assistant who we've talked into coming back in part-time capacity. So Fred Barr is back on the coaching staff this year.
All right, so Freddie was with you for 10 years, took a couple years separation, and now he's back. What's it feel like to have him back in the gym with you?
It's awesome. He just couldn't go without being here. You know, he loves volleyball. The kids that are seniors this year were freshmen when he was here last, so he said since he started with them, he felt like he needed to come back and finish up their experience here. So we're really happy. He just brings such a good energy and a sense of humor and a lot of knowledge about the game.
Players, you've all been around for a while. Every year is different. When we talk about the first week a little bit, how it's going, getting some newbies on the team, and
it's definitely been like super fun. I mean, I'm now a senior, so my role is like obviously a lot different. I find it like I feel like a mom almost. I feel like a mom bear. Like
Do you?
Yeah, I do, because like all the new kids, I just kind of want to like
when you're a mom.
support them and
Yeah.
be there for them. And it's definitely a role that I like taking on. And I'm having a lot of fun so far.
Our 2-a-days have definitely been tiring, but I feel like the people on the team and the new people coming in, it's just a super fun environment to be around. So I enjoy coming here and being around all of them.
Yeah, kind of like how Morgan was saying, 2 days can be very stressful and very hard, especially like physical and mentally. But I have honestly never laughed so hard this season. Like some of the stuff that happens in practices, it makes me very happy, and it makes me just love the sport even more.
good.
Yeah, I think coming off of last season, we had a lot of like heavy hitters and like a lot of big names that we were losing. And so there's some people that were coming into this season thinking, oh, like they're not going to be as good as last year. But I think with everybody that we brought up, like our team is just as strong as we were last year. And we're just going to be going strong still.
The chemistry has been really good. I've been impressed by that.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Everybody's been definitely blending in very well, even the new people. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun season, and it's been going good so far.
Yeah, I agree with everyone else. I think just good energy all around, and I feel like we all have such like differing personalities, but they just blend together so like perfectly. So it's always a lot of fun.
You can
Coach,
keep
any
the mic.
changes? Whoop, sorry about that. What's that?
I was just going to tell Becca she could keep the mic.
Well, good. Coach, any changes to the schedule coming up for the 2022 season?
You know, we've got the same tournaments on the schedule, so we're back at the Sprawl at Stout. We've got our Marshall invite, back to the Charger Rally, which we always look forward to, and then our Albertville tournament. So that's nice. Conference play, the non-conference is the same as last year, so it'll be very similar to what we've seen in the past.
You had a little scrimmage here, a couple days ago?
Yeah,
Three
that was
teams out of the
nice.
East?
We've been doing that with Appleton North since 2019 when they came here, and we hosted them, and it was just the two teams. We couldn't do it in 2020 because of COVID, and then last year we went to them, and they invited Luxembourg, Casco, and Howard's Grove just because they're in close proximity. And when we left, Steve said to me, like, okay, we're back to your place next year, and the other two coaches said, well, we want in. So all three teams came here Saturday. We were able to play some really good volleyball. We were able to, have a meal with them and do some activities off court and hopefully just connect the teams. All four of those teams will be at that Charger Rally tournament, so we're going to see them again and most likely at state. So
Tomorrow night you're up at Osceola for the quad. Who's up there with you?
we've got Prescott, Osceola, and St. Croix Central. There's a couple other teams there too, but those are the three teams we'll play. We had a really nice quad set up last year at Chippewa Falls where it was both sides of the section kind of coming together. And I thought we were just going to keep it there because it's a good central location for like the Wausau teams and for us. And instead they wanted to rotate it to where every team got to host once every 8 years. Well, that puts us in a bad position because we're driving to Wausau or Wisconsin Rapids and schools like that. And I just said, we travel enough throughout the season. We don't need to go that far for a quad. We can go to Osceola and it's closer and we can play. So.
Girls, you want to talk about your first team building experience? You took a little road trip over to Wisconsin Rapids to cheer on the Wildcat football team to their 1-0 start.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun night.
That makes me
drive
nervous.
for sure, but we made the most of it, and we were singing, and it was just a lot of fun. So yeah.
I heard there was a little freshman initiation where Olivia had to go to the bathroom
Oh my
and
God,
they wouldn't
yeah.
stop for her.
So we were driving there, and Morgan drove the whole entire way there, and then the whole entire way home because go Morgan.
Go Morgan.
But yeah, Liv Derry was sitting in the back, and so the 5 seniors are up in front, and we're all just like, we were just like spitting out like rap songs and stuff. Like we had no clue what was going on back there. Come to find out, like 2 hours in, Liv had to pee the whole entire time, and we didn't know. And so Liv and Abby are like
Quiet. Well,
literally
Abby's quiet.
trying not to say anything. I don't know. And then I think it got to the point where Liv was crying at one point.
First off, I would like to say we offered to stop on the road for have her pee or to have her pee in a cup, and she denied it. So we did give her options. We're not terrible.
We were also 30 minutes away, and I said I would stop at a gas station, and she said, I made it this long. I can make it the rest of the way.
That's like personal pride at that point.
So it's not our fault that she almost peed her pants. But yeah, I drove the whole way, and it was eventful. I was very focused.
I think
a lot of glitter and boa feathers in my van. My kayak customers weren't quite
Yep,
sure.
those
what
are
was
from
going
me.
on.
Fun too to
Taylor's
see the
were-
football
yep,
team play so
glitter.
well. I mean, I think they went into that game thinking it was going to be, a tight one, and they dominated. So that's always fun. Go Wildcats!
All right, Coach. Like every year, you got some new players. You want to chit chat a little bit about your newbies on this year's varsity
I
team?
do. I've got, aside from the seniors, I have 2 returners. So junior Hannah Jaraki, who's an outside hitter, and sophomore Maddie Range, who's was an outside, now right side. So those are the other 2 returners that I had mixed in with these 5. And I added 5 to the roster. So I've got Brooklyn Bishop, who's a junior, who has been a right side kind of her whole career and is now willing to take on the role in the middle. So that's nice to see. I've got another junior in Savannah Saxton, who's an outside hitter / defensive player. And then I've got 2 new sophomores to add to the Maddie Range class. So Ava Peters, who is a setter, and Abby Gilbertson, who's a right side. And then I have 1 freshman on the roster this year, which is Olivia Derry, who's a defensive specialist.
All right. How are they fitting in?
Amazing. Like they said, you can just tell by the reaction. Like this group is so supportive of each other. I've heard some kids say, like, I feel like I can be myself in this group and I'm accepted. And I think that's huge when you're trying to build positive culture. You can have some really good, talented athletes, but if we can't support each other, and I just feel like we know that when one person's successful, we're all successful, and it makes us better, and we get behind that. So it's a nice vibe to have in our gym.
Good. Class of 2023, these are your stats since you guys entered the high school your freshman year here. Current record in 3 years is 87 wins and 8 losses. You have 3 BRC championships with an asterisk. You're undefeated at home. You've had 3 straight trips to the state tournament. Can you guys talk a little bit about culture, pressure, and expectation?
Oh, don't pass the mic. If you have it, it's like hot potato. You gotta.
I feel like, yeah, there definitely is pressure, but it's almost like we just focus on playing, and you don't really think a ton about, like, going into each game, like, oh, like, there's a record going behind us and everything. Like, if we lose this game at home, like, we're losing a big streak. It almost just feels like we just focus, like, one game at a time, and what happens, happens. But we just think of what we need to do to win that game, not keep the streak going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I was going to say with that, along with, like, all the record, like, pressure and stuff, there's a lot of pressure outside with people at school or, like, people in the community because, like, people are kind of just waiting on our downfall now. Like, people see that we've lost so many seniors, and we got to just keep staying strong and, like how Taylor said, take it one game at a time.
I think it's very motivating for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes me want to work harder. A state championship would be amazing to win, and that's my goal, and I think that's for the rest of the team. Like, I feel like we're a very hard-working team, and yeah.
I agree.
That's what I got.
Coach, what do you got on culture?
I just think they come into the gym every day and we work on fixing little things, and little things lead to big things. So we don't go in saying, okay, we need to win X number of games or we have to do this in order to feel successful. We're working on being better blockers and better serve-receive passers. And we know that kind of the rest of it takes care of itself. Because if you can put that work ethic with that culture that we're developing in terms of like personalities and like a support system, I think that you're automatically going to find success.
All right. Taylor, maybe? We had our buddy Fitzy out of Prep Dig, who put out his preseason rankings, and he has this year's section champ as
Section
Chippewa
1.
Falls. Do you want to touch on that at all, Taylor?
Yeah, so I did see that. But I did send it to our group chat right away. But I think that seeing that is also like motivation. Like there's been so many times where we go into a season, everybody's like, oh, River Falls is going to go to state again. They're going to do this again. They're going to do that. And now it's like something that we have to push for. We kind of saw that at the end of last season too, where we went to 5 with Chippewa going to the state tournament. And it's almost like exciting. Like you have to work for something again because
almost like exciting?
it is exciting.
It was very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting because a lot of people I think in River Falls also go like watch us go and qualify for the state tournament again, thinking, oh, like they just made it to state, when it's actually like a big deal. Like it's Division I state for Wisconsin, and I feel like it just gets taken for granted again, or like lately. So I think it's really good. It was like a really good incentive for us almost to go like after Chippewa Falls as much as we can.
All right, Coach, talk a little bit about this year's motto.
Yeah, just to go back real quick to that ranking, we've talked a lot over the years for these kids that have been with me for a while, like not focusing on some of those outside influences, what people are saying in media reports or even peers at school or other teams, because we really have to keep that focus more on what we're doing. But I had the same reaction Taylor did. My first reaction was, okay, I'm going to have to break up with Fitzy. Like, we can't be friends anymore. But my second reaction was like, yeah.
Just doing his job.
Yeah, Chippewa Falls is good. Like, I can see why they're getting the attention they are. They grew over the course of last season, and they challenged us down the road, and they've got everybody back but their libero. So, yeah, they should be up there. But I don't think that doesn't mean anything to us because we still have to play the game, and we know what we're capable of. So the motto for this year. So our motto this year is kind of twofold. It's family first, partially a shout out to Greg Peters' insurance agency, Family First.
Wow, nice plug, Greg.
I know, he didn't even pay me to do that. But more so because we are a group that needs to be supportive of each other, that you're going to have things outside of us that try to come in and chip away at that culture that we have, and we have to be very protective of our family. You can say whatever you want about your sister sitting next to you, but don't let anybody else say something bad about them, right? You've got to protect your people. And the other part of that motto is just us, because if we're focusing on just us and just what we're doing, then we're gonna have the success we need to this year.
All right, this is to everybody here. What makes the River Falls volleyball family or River Falls High School such a special place to be? Chewbacca?
Well, I feel like first off, just going to like the overall name, I feel like it really fits for this season, like especially coming off last season. I feel like it's just a really good reminder to have for us to just like stick with each other and really support each other throughout this season, because we knew coming in it's going to be a tough season, losing people, but I think we've really stuck with it and worked hard, and like, yeah.
What makes it special, Taylor?
Can you restate the question, please?
What makes the high school and the River Falls volleyball family so special?
I think it's like the culture. Like a lot of people go into their high school seasons, I think, thinking, oh, I'm going to go to practice, I'm going to play a few games. But really, like, we spend so much time together, first of all, that this, like, is my family for, like, 3 months. And even outside of that, like, we're constantly doing things together. Like, these are my friends for 3 months. And even outside of that, they're still my friends going on. So it's just a lot more than just volleyball, I think. And from everything that we do outside of volleyball, outside of practice, outside of games, it just pushes it the extra mile.
Yeah, definitely like what Taylor said, especially with us 5 seniors. I think we do a really good job of just like being inclusive with everybody, and I think that's really what has made this team feel like a family. Like, I feel like I can rely on each and every one of the girls here, and I can depend on everyone. Yeah.
I feel like the legacy that all the players before us have left on the program has made this group just so much like I grew up watching Marissa Stockman, Izzy Barr, and Emily Bannon, like all those people, and I'm like, wow, like that's gonna be me one day. And now it's like I'm a senior and it's my last year, and so it's like
Now you're that person.
Yeah, now I'm that person, and so I'm just trying to make it like this year the best it can be. And I feel like all of the underclassmen are super supportive of that. So yeah.
And when I listen to middle school athletes or youth players talk about these girls the same way I used to hear Morgan talk about those kids, it's really heartwarming to see that they're inspiring the next generation of kids.
I mean, this group is like my best friends.
Including me?
Sometimes. Like, I look forward to coming to practice. I look forward to like seeing my teammates. And in our first meeting, we talked about how she's not here to be our friend. Like, she's going to push us.
No.
She's going to push us in practice.
No, she's coach, the boss.
What I actually said is, if you don't like me, it's okay. I love you enough for the both of us.
Yes. So she's been pushing us really hard in practice, and I feel like that is helping us become even closer. Like, we're learning to support each other, work together, and just love each other.
I think it's interesting too. Morgan and I have had conversations over the years where like you get kids that play high level club ball and their teams are really successful, but then they might go back to their high school programs and they might be the only player at their high school program that has that same mentality or the same training or whatever. So I think it's unique that these guys can all come into the gym together and they have the same expectations of themselves and their teammates in terms of work ethic and skill expectation and just culture in general. So they're not coming into an environment back in their high school scenario where they're the only person that's trying to build that.
Abby, the Firecracker Bandit, got some recent big news.
Yes,
Want
sir.
to talk about your big news?
I'd love
and
to.
maybe your path and journey to get there?
So recently I have committed to play volleyball at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
Woo!
I'm super excited to continue playing volleyball there. The team and the coaches are just so nice. I went there for a visit like a couple months ago or a month ago, and I like immediately knew like this is where I want to be. These people are so uplifting, and
Everybody wants to go to Southern Illinois.
My high school setter went to
It's a
Southern
big
Illinois.
vacation destination.
it is. I was like, what? It is pretty. Yes, it is
Yes.
pretty. Yeah, I'm really fortunate to be able to get the chance to go there. If anyone's still going through that recruiting process, I know it's really challenging. I know it can be really mentally draining, but I promise you in the end it's really worth it, and I'm really excited.
Morgan the Magician Kaylee, you've got some recent news with your purple
Yes.
sweater on. You want
Yes,
to
I
talk
do.
about that a little bit?
I committed to play volleyball at University of St. Thomas, and kind of going along with Abby, like as soon as I went on that visit during.
Hey, Marks, you were supposed to pause so everybody could clap for you.
Oh, sorry. There we go. All right, continue. I went on my visit a while ago, kind of at the end of winter, going into spring, and I loved it there. The players were super nice. The coaches are amazing, and like on our phone calls and like text messages, they're awesome. And seeing them in person is like, wow, this is where I want to be. And then leaving, the head coach was like, yeah, go on as many visits as you want. Like, please, like, go and look at whatever you want. And so I did, and continued like after nationals. And then I still came back. I'm like, nope, that's where I want to be. So, yeah.
All right. Coach, you're in year 13, right? You've gone 6 straight tournaments or trips to the state tournament. You've got 6 straight Big Rivers Conference wins. You're undefeated since September of 2015. What do you do to get better?
You want to clap for that, Goose? Go ahead. Yeah.
She's getting on the good side.
I think, yeah, she's just buttering me up. I think we continue to work on the little things. You know, today we were working on out-of-system attacking and blocking and serve receive, and every time we play, we're going to see something that needs to be worked on, and we're going to come back to practice, and we're going to work on it. And I'm excited to see these guys compete tomorrow and then this weekend at the Sprawl. It's always fun to have competition mixed in with practice. Like they said, 2 days for a week is a lot, and it's a lot of time in the gym where you're not, seeing anybody else on the other side of the net. So I think they're going to do some really amazing things.
13 years ago, I asked you a question. When your volleyball program was established, what is the one thing you'll be known for?
Ball control. And if
Are
you
you
would have
there?
asked what we've been known for the last 6 years, it'd be offense. Hitting. We've had a lot of big hitters over the years. Like you guys said, we had Marissa, we had Anna, we had Emily, Hallie. We've had some good passing and defense mixed in there, but I think it's gotten overshadowed with these really tall, offensive, dynamic hitters. So we don't have the height that we've had in years past. We've got a right side and I think a setter at the top of our, height for hitters.
Yes, Maddie Range.
But no, we don't clap for that, Goose. I think that we've got some tenacious defensive players. I think we're going to be able to sustain rallies longer than we have in the past. So I think we'll be a very different type of team this year, but really successful.
All right, you 5 seniors. I believe you were all ball girls once upon a time.
Yes.
I believe you all played through the
Taylor
middles.
wasn't.
You did not?
I had to swipe her later in life.
Not me.
Brianna was
Oh,
not
I
even.
forgot you didn't get the invite, did you, Taylor?
Yeah.
Roll Raiders.
You all went through middle school volleyball. You're in your senior year. Is there one thing that kind of sticks out, some memory along the way of all these years of volleyball here? Funny, serious, anything? Taylor, shoot away.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well, every time we get ready for a preview show, we always think of my freshman year. when Jenna Hooper was on the panel. And Mike, I believe you asked her, how do you deal with adversity? And she answered with, just drink water. I drink water.
Stay hydrated.
So that's the first thing that came to mind when you said something funny. So yeah.
Anyone else? Good story along the path? Any great memories? Or a memory? Something that stands out?
Okay, this is the only thing I can think of right now on the spot. But Becca was spitting some bars in the car on the car ride to Wisconsin Rapids. I turned to my right, and Becca's she was going at it.
Was it like freestyle or was she singing?
No, she was.
Okay.
It was Nicki Minaj. She was singing.
I thought she was going off the cuff and like making up her own lyrics.
That would have been pretty cool.
Can we get an example, Becca?
Oh, come on, Becca.
I have one that sticks out in my mind, just being here so long and watching my kids kind of grow up around the program. Ryan was down there running killers with the girls the other day, and I hear Allie yell to the team, "She better not beat you, she's running in Crocs." And that same day that happened, I had a time hop video pop up of Morgan when she was 10, same age as Ryan, on the same court, running the same way barefoot with the team. So for me, just seeing the kids kind of grow up around the program and be a part of it has been really special for me.
Bree, Morgan, Becca, any standout memories? Road trips? Pre-games, post-games?
TikToking.
There's definitely been a couple suburban rides that have just like really stuck out, playing like, I don't know, Would You Rather, Never Had, like just like those little car games that
We had so many people their freshman year that we had to take 2 Suburbans plus Sophie had to drive a car. And after the first tournament away, Sophie just said, "Please just don't put the freshman in the car with me again." So
when we had the ride with Sophie and then me, Morgan, and Brianna.
Yep.
She said that's the first time she ever heard Brianna speak.
Yes.
She was like meowing in the car.
yes, there's just lots of memories of like literally thinking that we're gonna have to pull over on the side of the road and pee because you're laughing so hard.
yeah.
I just remember my freshman year, Abby Derry said she didn't care who she roomed with. She got put with all the freshmen. And I think...
And again, asked me never to do it again.
Yeah, it was fun for the freshmen. I don't know about Abby, but...
It wasn't. She asked me to never do
She was
it
in the
again.
shower for like an hour. She was like trying to get out of the...
Okay, another memory. One time, Sarah called a team meeting last year, and Olivia Redmond was in the shower, and she came out of the shower of her room, and she's sitting in the team meeting, just sitting there with her wet hair and a towel.
Wait, I have three letters.
One more thing. HGP.
HGP.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Nope,
We
nope,
won't
we'll leave
expand.
HGP alone. All right,
Okay.
any advice to the younger generation volleyball players, new players on the team? Now that you're seniors and leaders?
I know it sounds super, I don't know,
Cliche.
cliche, but when people say that like high school goes by fast, like I swear it was just yesterday where Maddie broke her foot, so then I had to play my freshman year, and I'm waiting outside and like to run out, and I was freaking out, and now it's like, oh, my senior year. So just cherish every moment because it will come to an end.
Oh gosh, she's gonna start crying.
Are you crying? No.
And I will add on to that, like, don't wait for your senior year to feel like you can contribute and you have something to offer. You have something to offer all along the way, and you're just growing and getting better with each opportunity.
I would say just don't be so hard on yourself. When I play, I'm very hard on myself. Yes, I am. But don't let that get to you. Just keep working hard. I know I was sharing with Liv Derry that I passed a .6 my freshman year, chart passing. Not
bad. Out of what?
I don't know if you know anything about chart passing, but that's really bad. Like, really bad. But now coming in my senior year, like, I've just kept working hard, and I'm not at a .6 anymore. So
Well done. Congrats.
just keep working hard. Don't be hard on yourself.
It's good advice. Very good.
My advice would be to not give up. I know that's also very cliche, but my freshman year, I made JV when a lot of my friends here made varsity, and I was kind of worried about myself. I was like, oh no, like, do I get the chance to play in college? Like, am I gonna be like good enough? All these like things, overthinking. But here I am. I get to play college at Division I level, and yeah, so just never give up.
I would say don't be afraid to be your true self, because a lot of people, especially if you're really young, like a freshman, they come onto like varsity, and I know I came on my freshman year, and you're just like nervous. You're playing with all these like big players and everything, and like the game's totally different than before, and you're with like a team that's been together before, and definitely don't be afraid to be yourself, because then it makes it so much more fun, and you make so many new friends, and trust me, no one is judging you as hard as you are judging yourself. So
Wow, powerful. Rebecca.
Okay, I agree. I would say just work really hard, and I really agree with what Sarah said on like not waiting for your senior year, because I feel like when you're younger, you always have that safety net of like, oh, like I have more years to come and stuff, but don't use that excuse, and just like keep pushing yourself and be the best you can be in that season, and just keep working from there. And yeah.
Becca, you have the mic, so why don't you guys each say one thing you admire about the person to your right?
See, that's a
Brianna, you're so lucky.
Brianna, you'll do Becca. We'll get to Sarah soon.
okay.
Dang it.
One thing you admired about the person to your right.
I'm just kidding. No, I feel like Taylor, we've always just kind of been there for each other, because we're both the middles. And coming into this season, we knew we were really going to have our backs, because we're going to be like working really hard in there. So I feel like we just always have each other's backs and are always like pushing each other to be the best we can. And even last season, like I didn't really know anything, and I remember looking up to Taylor and Haley and just really mimicking what they were doing. So yeah.
thank you, Becca. I would say Abby is one of like, if not the hardest worker in our gym. Like you'll constantly see her. We're like playing 6-on-6 where everybody's playing a different position than they normally do, and no matter what she's playing, she's constantly like diving on the floor. Like if she's playing middle and she's one of the shortest people, she's like getting kills on everybody else. You'll never catch her slacking. So I would definitely say her hard work and her consistency.
Awesome. Thank you, Taylor. Oh, Morgan, where do I even start? Okay, one thing I'd say about Morgan is I don't know how she does it, but she handles perfectly between hardworking and having fun. Like we always talk about how there's a line between having fun and hardworking, and it's really hard to maintain that line, but Morgan always does it. She does an amazing job at doing it, and I look up to her so much with that. Like how she just doesn't get down on herself. She always uplifts the team, and she just has like such natural leadership on this team. Like if you've ever played anything with her, even if it's just like sand or if it's like threes on the net or like queens, she has like natural leadership.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abby. Oh Lord. I would say Brianna, like at first, playing with her, everybody thinks she's intimidating. But like being on a team with her, and you guys are like noticing this now, like she's just so open to everyone. Like literally anybody can go up and talk to her. Obviously me, I can say anything to her. But I feel like all of the newbies can just come in and like I just hear some things like that like Olivia will say, or like text messages. I'm like, oh, that's just like so cute. Like she's just so open and honest.
Thank you. I think Becca does such a good job at taking constructive criticism and then implementing it. And I've never seen her get upset about it. Like she might be getting screamed at by Sarah, but I don't
scream at people.
I've never seen her have like an upset face. She just like takes it and then she does it, and then Sarah doesn't scream at her.
Makes sense. All right, Coach, you got one word to describe each one of your seniors. What word would you pick to describe each one of them?
I would say Brianna's intense, and it's a good intensity. Like we feed off of her competitiveness. I would say Morgan's word is leadership, because I think that she manages people really well. She directs traffic for us. She's a good communicator. I would say scrappy for Abby, because like Taylor said, I've never seen her not give effort for a ball. And the same way Morgan runs our offense, I feel like Abby stabilizes our defense. Can it be 2 words?
Yes.
Work ethic. I would use that for Taylor because she's always grinding. Being a middle, I was a middle too, so I know how hard those 2 are working in there. And Taylor doesn't have a low gear. She goes hard all the time, and I appreciate that. And for Becca, I would say, like, I'm trying to think of the word I'm using.
You got it. I believe in you.
I know. She's very committed to working. I feel like all of these kids had a different level of training than she did, and she came in without that, and she still works just as hard, and she still gives that same effort, and she's grown tremendous. I'd say growth. Because growth. The way that she has grown from last season to this season is amazing to me, and I just know that she's going to be a consistent contributor to us this season, and I'm really proud of her for that.
Coach, wrapping this thing up, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this team with all of their commitment to the things that happen outside of what we do on the court. We had a meeting the first day, and it lasts like 2 hours. So for the kids that have been here a long time, they brought lawn chairs this year, and so we're very comfy while we were chatting. But the things that they've taken away from that and have been able to apply, and I know even like tonight for the preview show, there's an event planning committee, and they had the snacks, and they had the banner up, and we've got our ball girl committee that are preparing for all those youth players, and we've got our marketing committee who's working on the program, and there's so many things that I do outside of the gym, and I've given them responsibilities, and I'm blown away with what they've been able to do and contribute, and I don't have to micromanage them because they're all so responsible and working together as groups. There's a lot that goes into running a program, and I think that the effort that they're giving in the gym that will show on the court is special, and I think that the things that they're doing outside of this to create these other experiences are also pretty cool. So I'm grateful to them for that.
All right, wrapping up.
Whose reminder was always do your committee stuff? Taylor's.
I was just going to say that, actually.
Yeah. So I asked them the next day to give me one thing they remembered from the meeting. And at the start of every practice, they have to go through and say their one thing. So without hitting all the people, will you guys share what your one thing that you remember from the first day meeting is?
I said communication. Hey. I said communication within our team. That's super important to go to each other first, especially if there's an issue, and just overall going to each other first.
There are 4 quarters of the season, and there's a name for each one of them. Performing, storming, norming. Nope. Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe I just did that.
Okay.
Forming, storming, norming, performing.
Not performing first.
Oh my God, it was the last thing I thought of. Okay, and during that storming phase, which is when, like, we are getting through, like, preseason and double two-a-days and stuff like that, we're, like, figuring out who's going to, like, play a lot and getting our
certain
roles.
roles, yeah.
And just being super uplifting and supportive during that. Thank you, Taylor Peterson.
Mine was that this year we are different from last year because I feel we are all inclusive as one unit. I know that's kind of like cliche sometimes to say and all, and you really can't feel that from. It's hard to see from the outside, but from the inside, I've never these guys. How Brianna said, these guys are my best friends, and I feel very happy and supportive with them.
Mine was just do your committee work. So that's what that's what Sarah was talking about. Like, we have 4 committees, three. Ball girl, event, and marketing. I'm on marketing. So yeah, we have a big checklist for each one, so just get your stuff done.
Mine was that coaches are here to make us like the best players and just people that we can be, and like they'll always just be there to support us and have our back, and they always just have our best interests at heart. So just trusting them.
Outstanding.
We got a couple others like sell your cookies and do other things. But
if you guys would like cookie dough, please talk to Taylor Peterson. I will give you my Venmo. You can find me. I live by the high school. Yeah. There's lots of flavors. We have chocolate chip.
Okay, take the mic away from her. Go ahead.
All right, so you guys are live in action tomorrow up in Osceola. You got a 3-game quad. You're at the Menominee Sprawl this weekend, Friday, Saturday. Tuesday will be the first Mike and Rob Experience broadcast over in Stillwater. We want to thank the First National Bank. They're our primary funder for all YouTube sports on the River Falls Sports Dial. Rob Derry back here behind the scenes. Kevin Westhouse, the godfather, the madman, does all the stuff YouTube. Sarah, your whole coaching staff, players, and the seniors. We wish you all the very best. Always be